A mystery is simply an unsolved question and the attempt to answer it. In literature, this mystery is often a crime, but anything unexplainable can inspire a great mystery novel. Mystery doesn't always mean murder. From strange creatures to mysterious visitors and tales of reincarnation, there is something out there for everyone. On this video I will list 10 most creepiest mystery around the world. On the 10th spot, Gloria Colita. In the late 1930s, Reg Michel designed and built the largest sailing vessel in the Caribbean. He named the wooden vessel the Gloria Colita. Her length was 50 meters, 165 feet, and she weighed 175 tons. The Gloria Colita began service in the spring of 1939, and a typical voyage commenced with a trip to what was then British Guiana, or BG as they called it. There, they would load rice and sail to Cuba. They would sell the rice and load a cargo of sugar cane. Reg had loaded rice in BG bound for Havana. There he loaded sugar and went to Venezuela. This steady commerce kept Reg busy for 2 years until his last and mysterious voyage in May of 1941. After they left Mobile, they were never heard from again until a United States Coast Guard plane sighted the Gloria Colita awash, drifting in the Gulf Stream with no sign of life on board. Next, on the 9th spot, Valley Hill Lights, Springfield, Kentucky. Valley Hill is a community near Springfield, Kentucky. The phenomenon is described as random bursts of color to showers of golden flakes. On April 6, 1995, Ann Mudd, a Sunday school teacher, visited Valley Hill in Springfield, Kentucky, along with 8 of her students. One of the girls, Mandy Mattingly, soon caused a commotion when she pointed at the sky and told the rest of the party that she was seeing strange colors around the sun. She also said that she could see the sun pulsating. The teacher then allegedly saw gold colors appearing on her students, and she took photos of them. When the photos were developed, it was claimed that angels surrounded one of the girls in one picture. Meanwhile, another depicted Jesus and Mary wearing veils. One of the students also claimed that another picture reflected the name of her deceased cousin on a tombstone. It is said that the mothers of the students didn't believe the story at all, but after having several visions, they changed their tune. 8th spot, White Things, Boone County, West Virginia. The world is full of monsters, real and imaginary. Sometimes it's hard to tell if a creature is really out of this world, or if you're confusing an ordinary animal with something monstrous. This is the case in West Virginia, where there have been several reports of nasty-looking creatures wandering in the woods. Some people describe these animals as humanoids. Others claim that these monsters have feline, canine, even demonic features. In the mid-1990s, a wave of sightings was recorded in Boone County. The creatures have been christened White Things because of their long, dirty white hair. According to some reports, the White Things had claws, smelled of sulfur, and ran very fast on both their legs. Even more frighteningly, their screams, or more accurately their howls, resembled those of a woman in distress. In 1995, a couple crossing Boone County spotted a white thing sitting in a ditch along the road. After the couple got out of the vehicle to get a closer look, the monster jumped and threw themselves into their car. Fortunately, they was able to get back in the car and leave after the beast jumped and disappeared. Observations continued until 2015, but the exact nature of White Things remains a mystery. On the 7th spot, the Delta Queen. The Delta Queen is an American sternwheel steamboat. She is known for cruising the major rivers that constitute the tributaries of the Mississippi River, particularly in the American South. In June 1985, Myra Fruge, one of the employees of the Delta Queen, received a call from cabin 109. The occupant was an elderly lady who asked for a blanket because she was very cold. Myra sent Mike Williams, the first mate, to assist the old woman. After Mike set off for the cabin, Myra looked up to see a face staring at her from the deck. Believing it to be the woman from cabin 109 wandering about looking for a blanket, Myra went out to help her. However, she could not find anyone on the deck. Just then, Mike returned. He said that cabin 109 was unoccupied. As Myra walked back with Mike, she saw a portrait that had been on the ship all along. Suddenly, Myra realized that the woman in the portrait was the same lady who had been looking at Myra from the deck. Mary Green, some spell it Green, had been in charge of the Delta Queen in 1947 at age 79. She died in cabin 109 just 2 years later. 6th spot. Mystery object, Seabrook Island, South Carolina. A huge mysterious object washed up on a beach in South Carolina's Seabrook Island, inspiring a ton of theories about what it could be. The object seemed to be made of concrete, but it was almost squishy and soft to the touch. The Lowcountry Marine Mammal Network was alerted. They went to investigate but were unable to determine it. But until this very day, the object has yet to be identified. 5th spot. Peter Dromgoole Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Legend has it that after Peter Dromgoole arrived at the University of North Carolina in 1833, he soon fell in love with Fanny. The two became a couple and started meeting at a flat rock near a cliff. Their love seemed one for the ages until a third wheel soured it. Peter noticed that another student, who happened to be a good friend, was making moves on Fanny. Peter became extremely jealous and didn't know how to handle the situation. He tried to avoid his friend, but the friend was interested only in annoying Peter. When they met one day on a narrow campus path, the rival hit Peter with his shoulder, causing Peter's hat to fall to the ground. After a heated argument, the rival challenged Peter to a duel. It ended with Peter being shot to death by his rival. The man panicked. With two of his cronies, the former rival placed Peter's lifeless body on the flat rock. Peter's remains were never found. It is said that Fanny waited at the rock many an afternoon, but she only saw the red-brown stains on the rock itself and never knew the fate that had befallen her lover. On the 4th place, Lawton Werewolf, Lawton, Oklahoma. On February 27, 1971, 35-year-old Donald Childs stared ahead in terror as he clutched his chest. He was having a heart attack as he watched a horrifying creature rummaging around in his front garden. The creature resembled a canine, humanoid figure and was drinking water out of Donald's fish pond. Fortunately, Donald survived the heart attack and was released from the hospital after 2 days. He then reported to the police what he had seen: a humanoid monster, with hair over its face, that was wearing multiple layers of clothing. Soon, more reports followed. People called the police in panic, claiming to have seen the creature running down roads and perching on apartment railings. The creature, now referred to as the Lawton Werewolf, also ran all the way to Fort Sill. There, a group of men encountered it. On the 3rd spot, Jacob's Well, Wimberley, Texas. Jacob's Well is an artesian spring that flows out of a natural underground reservoir and has been revered by Native Americans for at least 1,000 years. The spring's mouth is around 4 meters, 13 feet wide, and the water inside is 10 meters, 33 feet deep. They said that Jacob's Well has 4 chambers and that the first one is 9 meters, 30 feet deep. The second one is 24 meters, 80 feet deep. However, the third and fourth chambers remain a mystery to most people, as only very experienced divers have ever seen them. The cave systems of Jacob's Well also remain a puzzle to scientists. This has encouraged people to try to explore the spring. So far, 9 divers have lost their lives after diving into Jacob's Well to uncover its mysteries. Second spot, Old House Woods, Diggs, Virginia. Haven Beach Road leads away from Diggs toward a 50-acre woods and marshland area known as Old House Woods. The forest has a rich history, including that of the creepy variety. It dates to the 1700s, when soldiers and pirates took refuge among the thick greens. Inside Old House Woods stood the Franny Night House. It had a reputation for repeatedly setting itself on fire and then extinguishing the blaze on its own. In 1929, a man by the name of Jesse Hudgens reported that he had been walking through the forest when a group of men with glowing lanterns approached him. When they came close, Hudgens saw that they were skeletons wearing ancient armor. Hudgens also claimed that one of the skeletons threatened him with a sword. Many more unexplained events have taken place in these woods, including floating lights, spectral figures appearing and disappearing, and faint sounds of cannon fire in the distance. This has caused the Old House Woods to become known as one of the most haunted forests in America. The first spot goes to the Bell Witch, Adams, Tennessee. In 1804, John Bell moved his family to Adams, Tennessee, and settled on 300 acres of land. They lived there happily and peacefully for 13 years before the trouble began. It started out as any old haunting, with doors slamming, weird sounds coming from within the walls of their home, and chains rattling in the distance. Then a weird animal, something between a rabbit and a dog, showed up at the Bell place. Suddenly, the paranormal activity kicked up several notches. John's daughter bore the brunt of the weirdness, with invisible hands slapping and pinching her until she was black and blue. After a committee was formed to investigate the Bell home, the entity revealed its name to them, Kate Batts. Kate used to be a neighbor of the Bells. She felt animosity toward John Bell and his family because of business deals gone wrong. Kate vowed to torment John and his family. In 1820, John was poisoned, allegedly by Kate, who was then also known as the Bell Witch. Those are 10 most creepy mysteries from the American South. That's all for today. Thank you and see you on the next case.